Okay, it's Jim from Jim's Fastback Garage. Had a bit of a beard shave here. A little bit of a short rake. It's miserable hot. In this part 2 video of my preparing my fastback for No Name Nationals, we are going to be working on wheel studs, new fuel line. I actually found something I'll show you here real quick. Found these. I bought 2 different sizes. I was pretty sure the U-bolts on my rear end are 7/16 fine thread, and that's what this little one here is. But I also got some bigger ones just in case I need them for the old truck. But we'll be putting those nuts on my U-bolts. We'll be changing out the wheel studs on the rear wheels, and we'll be working on the fuel line. And most likely, we'll be getting all that green stuff out of there and flushing the block, making this thing crystal clear with water. Okay, part 2. If you can see me, I'm right here. Part 2. We're gonna take the wheel off, take the drum off, and knock one of these studs out, and we're gonna measure it for the knurl size. And I'm gonna show you these goofy lug nuts I bought a long time ago. Let me see if I'm strong enough today to do this. I hold that off my wheels because I don't want to scar up my powder coat. Now, a lot of people take their wheels off, take their lug nuts off in a star pattern. They go here, 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 there. And these wheels are what they call lug centric, not hub centric. I know the lighting may not be that good here. So if you can see, taper on both sides. Might be able to see this right here. I've only used one side of this. There's the line where it grinds against the wheel, and this side is still shiny. And also, these Bassett wheels require that lug nut. You can't put a standard lug nut in here. It does not match the taper. Oh, look at that. These are larger 9-inch drums. Montego, Cougar, Fairlane. I said Fairlane, I meant Torino. And this is a traction lock rear end, a Ford traction lock. Let's just tap one of these buggers out. We'll try that one right there. We'll get an old lug nut, stick on there, and we're going to pop it a few times with a hammer and get it out. Be back in a second. Lug nut. I'm going to put it on here. Nope, I was going to do this one, wasn't I? Put it right there. Let's see if we can knock it out. I'm using a brass hammer. Ooh, that's starting to hurt my hand. She don't want to come out. I'm gonna have to get a little tougher on that dude, ain't I? So I'm gonna get a bigger hammer. Well, we have a mini sledge. Let's see what happens with it. Watch out, cats. It's gonna make noise. Well, folks, all I'm doing is smashing the daylights out of this lug nut. Yeah, this turned out to be a catastrophe. This side right here, flattening out. Let's throw a little heat on some of this, see if we can't break this rust. I don't know how much it takes, but I gotta get this back on. Try not to touch that hot stuff. There she blows. Now I'm gonna let that cool off before I touch it, especially on the back side, or I'll get me a pair of pliers. There you go. Don't take much heat. Yeah, she's getting a little warm. Alright. So all we gotta do is measure that dude right there. Get that diameter. I can go in and order me some studs. Okay, we got one of the studs out of my axle. And what we're going to do is use this caliper. It's an old dial caliper. We are going to use it. I'm going to measure two places. I'm going to measure on the flat. If we look here, we've got focus. That's a 600. See if you can see that. There's a 6 and it's a 03, 02 and a half. Now we're going to look at the actual knurl. I'm going to drop down on the knurl and catch it at the knurl. It should be 625 or something like that. Let's go up here and look. 6, I got a 2. I got a good 620. I think it is 620 is what the knurl. So now we know what studs we can order. And I believe they're $29 for a set of 10 or 30 bucks at my local shop. So we're gonna get that in the Earl's line ordered and bought and be putting it on the car here shortly. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this fuel hose and fitting down here on the bottom, and we'll just take it loose over here. Alright, I've already taken this front nut loose. There's no gas dripping there. Let's do the back one. I've got to get this entire, ooh, I hear fuel in that. So I got to go down below, crack that nut, catch that fuel in a pan. Let's see what we need to break that loose. Hey, that looks like it. You guys want to see? All right. Figure out how to do this. Pop that loose. Quick connect. Well, is it going to come out of the... Is the fitting going to come out of the pump, or is the line going to pop loose from the fitting? Who knows? Let's give her a little crack. Oh yeah, the line came loose. And look at that. It's going right in there. I'm going to leave that be until it stops the dripping. Just drippy drip now. The only other thing I got to do is take this bolt right here off. That's a little insulated clamp. Keep this big piece of rubber in place. I think we'll be good with that. Okay, you can see that all of the studs are out. There's the other 4. They were a little bit cantankerous, but I gave up on using a lug nut. You can see I bludgeoned into that thing. It's flat. Ew, mushroomed. Junk. I don't need those. I can put them in my junk bucket. So those are on order. Should be in a couple of days. And I also, at the same place, acquired this rather expensive piece of braided fuel line. That was pretty near $40 just for that stuff right there. You can see if it'll focus. Yeah. I was told this will handle 1,000 psi, but I'm only going to put about 9 pounds to it. Here's the fancy fitting I'm using. Fragola 109006. And then of course we're going to be clamping it to that. Take that piece off, put it back on the carburetor. This might be a little long, so I'm gonna lay it in there first with the fitting installed on one end. You gotta remove the black tape because that's how they cut it. I don't know how he cut that. I didn't see him cut it. All I have is an abrasive wheel to cut that with. So anyhow, there's the fuel line. We're waiting on the studs. Okay, I'm in backwards mode right now. Yeah, it's backwards. So I finally got parts in for the second video I'm gonna do on preparing my Mustang. It took a few extra days to get the wheel studs in. I had to come from Texas. And yeah, I could have ordered them from Amazon, got them in the same amount of time or less. But I decided to just order things local. So let's see how this works. Alright, here they are. Mosier 3-inch, 6.25 knurl. Of course, that's overall 3-inch length. It's 1/2 20. That's what was standard on my car for thread size. Over here we've got the fuel line and the one fitting I need. That's to attach this braided steel fuel line to the actual fuel pump. Now this line's a little long, so I'm gonna set it in there, mark it, tape it, and then cut it off. I'll probably end up cutting about 6 inches or so off of that. And I'll just be clamping it back to this. I'll run it through that, keep it against my water pump bolt. Yeah, this here, I got this years and years and years ago, so some people don't like these. There's nowhere to put a pressure gauge, and I'm not really that interested in it. I've run this motor a while with that setup, and I haven't had any kind of fuel issues, so I'm going to get set up here, and we're going to get busy. I'll probably start with the fuel line. That seems like the easiest thing to do right now. And then we'll move on to these studs that, honestly, they look humongous to me. they look absolutely humongous, but they will make us pass tech as far as the wheel studs and thread engagement go. So I'm probably too close with that camera. I've been dreading coming out here, but it is the coolest day. Yesterday was cool. It was really cool overnight, so today ought to be fun. So let's put you up on the thing right here. Set this up so you can see down in the engine bay, and I can work in front of that and show you what we're doing, and then we'll decide what we're working on next. All right, let's see what we're doing here. See if I can remember this. I've never used these. These are for this braided fuel. I don't know if you can see that, but this you're supposed to put the fuel line in here first. You're supposed to stop just short of the main threads. The threads here. Inside the nut. You're supposed to stop just in front of that. And definitely don't leave the black tape on there. That needs to come off. And then, once that's in there like that, you're supposed to push this in until your threads start to engage. Then you thread that down until it stops. He told me not to use, unreal torque on this. He said, you thread that down. When it stops, you just go a little bit. He says, you'll be good. Of course, if there's a fuel leak, it's easy to just reach down there, tighten it up with a couple of wrenches. I think I'm going to put this fuel line back on, or the metal line here. There, I don't want to run too much fuel line, but in the future, I don't know how this is going to affect me. In the future, I want to put a power steering pump right here down in this area. So I'll show you where that fuel line is. It's down here. I had a blue fitting in my stock type fuel pump, and I believe that's 6AN. But later on in some of the work I'm going to do, may not be before No Name Nationals, but eventually I want to change that steering box way back in there. There it is. I want to change it out to a Borgeson power steering box. Now, I may have to wrap header tubes on that side, because boy, they heat that box up. That thing gets so hot it sweats all its grease out. But this here ought to pass tech, and then I gotta think possibly I'm gonna replace these two sections and clamp the braided metal line on there. And that should pass tech for fuel line. I'm pretty sure I'm passing tech here. I I got 2 springs here, plus the original spring that is around your throttle shaft right there. Oh, I have to tie down the battery. I got parts for that. And yeah, I have at least a foot extra line. So if I give this a little, if I cut that off right in there somewhere, I'll have plenty of line. Might just mark that with some tape. Get ready to cut it. I'm probably going to use an abrasive wheel, which means I'll have to clean the line out. Found this in some junk. I've never seen the brand before. We'll just see if it's any good. Good. Pretty nice looking tape. I'd like to congratulate Jason Falk for getting his 500 subscribers. It was last night. I was watching the first live and got busy after that, and I didn't realize the second live started. So I missed it, but congratulations, Jason. All right, what next? Let's go the other way. If this is a major no-no, you guys make a comment about it, and I will tell everyone, don't do what I did. Okay, I can tell you that's probably not a great idea. Look how much the metal is flaring out around there. Now I'm going to leave that on. The tape, that probably wasn't enough tape winds to make that hold tight, but it was the best thing I had to use to cut this, so we'll go with that. I'm gonna pause you, come back with a clean line and install it. Okay, I got ahead of myself. Got it cleaned out. I've already stuck it through this loop. Snag it. That's what I just did on that line, so we shouldn't have any leaks down there at the bottom. Oh, look at the kitty. Look at the kitty down there. Yeah, what are you doing, Jasmine? Jasmine was sick. She was very sick there for a while, but she's a lot better today. Let's take one of these dudes out. Usually carry a little pocket knife. Here's the old stud. I'm going to hold them up close. There's more light on the back side than there is on the front, but hopefully these things will go in real nice. I just got to find a good path to route these in. I put the car in neutral so I could turn this. It's a factory locker rear end, and without the car in the right place, and I may find out real quick here I can't put these in, but let's just see what's going to happen. I can get back to there on that one. There's stuff in the way. Let's try over here. This side's the best side. Everything's cleared away, but there's not enough rain. It just sticks in too far, so looks like we're going to be... Let's see if we can just take the axle out. I think my cover plate is below the power brake bar here, the spreader bar. I say power brake. What I meant was axle, and I believe the bearing is out. I don't like doing it this way, but there she is. Big old gooey, greasy axle with one of the old studs back in it. Okay, should have had gloves on, shouldn't I? What a mess. You guys watch the axle. I'm gonna go get gloves. Shit, that stuff stinks. I hate that stuff. You don't want to get it anywhere on you. All right. Gloves. So I'm just gonna put that on there. I'll put a little bit of lube on this. I know. You're like, that's not lube. Let's see if this will do anything. It's coming in, but I'll make sure I'm not tearing anything out. Oh, what's going on there? Wow. Ain't that gonna be fun? I'm gonna have to put a spacer in there. It's pushing me off. It's pushing the socket off. So what do you do for that? You go get an old junk socket. I'll be right back with one of those. Alright, finally found a junk socket that's small enough. Fits right over the threads. Got a washer here. And a good lug nut. Now we got all kinds of pulling power and we're not going to run out of space. Let's set this on. Oops. I'm on 1. We're going to go 3. See what happens there. It's pulling it in. I'm about 3/32 from being pulled in all the way. So that shows me it'll work. My axle's spinning in the vise. I don't really have it tight. Matter of fact, it's rather loose. I don't have enough strength in my hands to stop this from spinning, so I need to try to get a better grip on this. Like holding this maybe. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Yeah, it's still wanting to turn on me, but got one fully engaged. I will show it to you. See? There we go. Backside. Come on, focus, focus. There we go. It is fully engaged right there. I get these done. I'm going to do them all off camera because I'm tired right now. I've shot 59 minutes worth of video to this point. So I'm obviously going to trim a bunch of that out, especially the walking around nonsense. And I think I'm going to stick the axle back in right now. I'm not sure. I may keep them out because I'm currently trying to figure out how to put a different gear in. But the yokes have different lengths to them. So trying to figure that mathematical problem out. Then I'll decide if I'm going to change gears. I do like the way this thing runs with a really tall gear. It's a 3-to-1 gear, and I like the second gear pulls into third. They feel real strong. And anyhow, I'm going to cut away before I keep rambling too much. Okay, I'm going to show you the last one. Those went in really fast and really easy. I should have just kept the camera rolling. You've seen the first one, you'll see the last one. Put a little bit of this on. Oh, gross. I even put a little back here on the knurl. And that last one seemed to work better. Right, I'm doing everything all wrong. You guys can see that. Looks harder than it really is. But that's the way things go for me. Alright, I was trying to film the last stud going in and got to the point where I was getting ready to run the gun on it to show you guys the last one. And my camera, it died on me. It wasn't just the camera, it was the battery. It got less than 5%. It was so low it wouldn't let me turn it on even when I plugged it in. So we'll get back to this. I'm gonna leave this axle setting out here, and we're gonna go in here and I'm gonna change some nuts out. Well, let's just see. Is that enough? Yeah, that looks like enough. One at a time in reverse. You guys seen that dude unspringing itself there, didn't you? Let's just see here. And you know what? I'm gonna change my setting down here. I don't want to get crazy with this thing. Oops. Kind of a ding dong does that. The guy puts it on backwards when I need to go forward. Try it again, try it again. Golly, now I got it using the wrong hand and I'm getting it cross-threaded. Oh, what a goof. Needless to say, I'm never going to use that place again. I found these at a local local shop that works on semis and stuff. I asked the guy for these 7/16 fine thread. He thought maybe I was mistaken on that, but okay, now that's, well, it's getting close. Go back up there. Okay, you can still see a little air light in there. It's a lot smaller, and that's grabbing the leaf. I think I'm good right there. That looks a lot better than that cheap old thing up there. So let's get it out. There it goes. And gotta tap this out. Well, come on out of there. There it goes. This is harder than it looks. I'm trying to film with one hand. I hear everybody say, "Oh, this is hard to do," and I'm like, okay, I seen it come together, but I don't think you guys did. Alright. There's two of them. I'm going to cut away because it's very difficult. You get the idea. Don't use these junky nylocks. Really, under any circumstances on a U-bolt for a leaf spring. Alright. I'm going to have to move the jack stand under there to get the two on the inside. But as far as this thing down here goes, I'm done for the night. I gotta move my jack stands out of the way, so I gotta bring my jack back in here, jack it back up, and get the jack stand out of the way so I can get to the bolt, to those nuts on the other side. And I got more figuring to do. Am I going to change out that rear end gear set in there or no? Just kind of figure it out and keep moving forward. Alright, till tomorrow. Yeah, it's been several days, if not more than a week. I don't even remember. There's been so much rain, and I've been trying to mow in between that and do other things. So I'm going to wrap this video up for the Mustang right now. I'm going to finish the other axle off camera. I'm going to decide whether or not I'm putting in a different gear set with a mini spool, and I don't even have a set of tires to go with that, so mini spool would just be a sit and spin there. So we've got some good news though. Our old house is in the middle of passing inspection, and we're waiting on the appraisal to come in, but we are working with an accepted offer, and we're hoping that that goes through by the end of the early first week of August. And then later on, look at that. Let's see if you can see that like I see it. We got this old truck here. That's going to be one of our future projects. Right now I'm getting ready to go and fill some paperwork out. And that blue tarp's over there because there's no back window. And every time I try to cover it with this tarp, the wind blows it off and it rains right back in it. So that's in this video here. You guys check back in with me. I will be doing other things on my car. I still haven't found the bolts and stuff to put the windows in. I may have to order a set of brand new ones. So see y'all later.